This week's parsha, Kosai, the parsha begins, Im b'chukai teilechu. If you walk in my statutes, so the Balaturim firstly says, Im b'chukai teilechu, the gematria amelim divrei Torah. The one has to toil in divrei Torah, in words of Torah, which Rashi cites the Chazal, that a person, to merit all the bounty of Hashem, one has to toil. Of course, toiling indicates something that has special value. It's the ultimate. However, he also says that the first letters of each of these words, Im b'chukosai teilechu, spell the word ovos, aleph beis tov, ovos, Im b'chukosai teilechu. Now, what exactly is this alluding to? That Im b'chukosai teilechu is ovos. What relevance does it have to us? Chazal tell us that the aspiration of every Jew has to be when are my achievements going to reach the level of my patriarchs, my forebearers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? That has to be the aspiration of every Jew. The question is, and if it would be less than that, would it be, if a person Mosa Yagiu Masa Lamasa Hilazoki, Masa David HaMelech, were not the Ovos HaKadoshim, why wouldn't that be sufficient? So what the answer is that the further you shoot, the further you achieve. So you shoot for the stars, you may not reach the stars, but you fall short of that. But if you shoot for less than that, your achievement will be less. However, if you're satisfied with that, it's fine. But I don't think that's the correct understanding. The Gemara tells us in Yevomis that there's certain innate characteristics which every Jew possesses. And if he doesn't possess these characteristics, you have to question his pedigree, the origin of his pedigree. Rachmanim Baishonim Gomli Chasodim. This is innate in every Jew. Every Jew has Rachmanim. Baishonim means he has shame, he has conscience. He's a Gomel Chesed. Why? Because these were the attributes and the characteristics of the Ovos HaKadoshim. We, being their descendants, we possess every one of those characteristics to be able to achieve and perfect it, each one of us within our own capacity. Although the Rambam writes in the Tshuva that every Jew could be as great as Moshe Rabbeinu, he doesn't mean Moshe Rabbeinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to him peh, face to face, in a wake state. That's not what it means. But what does it mean you could be as great as Moshe Rabbeinu? That just as Moshe Rabbeinu was given the greatest potential, he was Shokol Keneged Yisrael, he was the equivalent of all Klal Yisrael, and he met that potential, each one of us was given our own potential. And if you achieve that potential, and you can be more than your potential, you're no less than Moshe Rabbeinu. This is the understanding in the Rambam that every Jew could be as great as Moshe Rabbeinu. So therefore now, but within which context is each of our potential which is endowed to us? It's within the context of Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. It's within that spiritual gene pool. Being their descendants, we have that capacity. So therefore, if to Amelim BaTorah, if you go and you toil in Torah, in terms of achievement, working with all the endowed gifts, which every one of them is rooted in Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, then we could say, applying yourself, then we're able to achieve Masa Avosai, although it may only be a semblance or infinitesimal compared to them, doesn't make a difference. But then you have relevance to achieving within that spiritual infrastructure to meet your full potential. That's exactly what the Torah is alluding to in the Aleph Beis Tov. Each first letter, each one of these words, Ovos HaKadoshim, the Ovos, we have relevance to the actions of the Ovos HaKadoshim.